What's up, everybody? Welcome to another Headless's Magical Mailbag. I am joined by Nick and Eros. Go ahead and tell them where to find you, Nick, and tell them what you've been working on.
What's going on, everybody? How are you? Yeah, Nick from the Occult Rejects, on a BitChute, Rumble, YouTube, and all major podcasts. What am I working on? Still working on. Oh no, I should be uploading. Well, it's not going to be dropping for a few weeks, but yeah, the Herbs Part 3. I finally finished that, and then I should be putting up Johannes Kepler. I think that will fall in a few weeks. I still have to. You know what? I still have to finish. I totally forgot about the Untermeyer Park. I actually want to finish that by this weekend. I was like, oh shit! I started editing it and putting all the video together, and then I think I went on to Johannes Kepler and forgot all about it. So that I would act that once that's done, I'm just dropping it right on YouTube. I'm not scheduling it or anything. So hopefully you see that within like the next week. Yeah.
All right.
We got this weekend. We have some interesting stuff. We have a left-hand tarot person coming on this weekend, and we got Ed Cassis with the tridactyl guy. Crazy Ed Cassis. That should be fun. It was cool, dude.
I thought that Friday there.
Oh yeah, and that too. Sheesh, with the AI.
Yeah.
That's gonna be interesting. You tell his situation a little bit more than you knew it a little bit more. Like it was from work that he had all this.
Right. Well, he was kind of, he still got confidentiality agreements, but basically they didn't like the fact that he was blowing the whistle. And so now he's kind of having to drop hints without actually saying exactly what he does and everything. So it's kind of hard to pin down, but basically driverless cars are a big scam. And he knows it. That's why they drummed him out. So,
yeah, I know he was telling me that, like, yeah, there's a different, better way to do it, and most of the cars aren't using it.
Right, and I can't talk about the technology involved. You can only be vague, but it's very specifically about how they sense, how they move around, and how they collect information. So it's kind of interesting because it's two competing technologies that now the government is pushing one side really, really hard. And you've got people like him on the other side saying, hey guys, this is not going to work. You're going to have to go with something else. You can't use these patents that these guys are trying to push on everybody. So slow it down and let's take a reevaluation on safety. And they said, all right, how about we destroy your life? Because we're talking about like billions of dollars in venture capitalist funding is following around these cars, these driverless cars. And so if anybody's sort of making waves, it could be real expensive for them really quick. So I think that's why his story is important. And it's also one of the stories of our generation. They've been trying to push the driverless car on us for what, 10 years now? It's ridiculous.
When we saw that shit, they had those things out by when we were in Phoenix, Arizona, right?
The Waymos.
Yeah, right? That's right. Yeah, I was like, holy fuck.
Yeah, but I mean, it is just like part of your employment agreement. Like you can't be talking about like stuff that you've designed or stuff like that.
His problem was he tried to get his PhD with this thesis, right? And so that PhD thesis is what landed him in a lot of hot water. They're like, you have to retract this. He's like, I'm not going to retract this. And they're like, actually, you're contracted with us. So if you tell anybody about this, we can sue you. So he's got a thing against him because, he was blowing the whistle. And they didn't like that. So, I mean, skirting around it. But, yeah, the Waymo cars use that technology that is not safe. So you're better off walking. Waymo, you're better off walking. But what symbol did you bring?
I got the V-Rod. I pulled up the.
Ooh.
Yeah. I got a couple of. Yeah, the crescent and the V-Rod. That was a Pictish sign cut into stone. It's basically a curved lunette band, sometimes decorated with eternal arches or spirals, crossed by a V-shaped element whose tips often end in it's like curled things. It is a single most frequent kind of geometric symbol you'll see in the Pictish, which I'll get to those more later. It's a certain area that was in Scotland. It appears alongside the double disc in the Z-Rod and the serpent in the Z-Rod and the mirror comb, because there's on like a few things there. Yeah, and the motif is normally a crescent, which is often internally decorated with the V-shaped rod laid across it. In the detailed art historical analysis, Gordon Murray describes the V-rod as a linear modifying device whose terminals frequently resemble arrow components, the head and the flights of an arrow, and notes typical features like a curved bridge across the V angle and sometimes a lenticular element near the apex. One thing that they do mention is that the V-rod is effectively never found by itself. It appears to function as a modifier of the crescent or something like that. Whereas the crescent can occur without the V-rod. So when people say the crescent and the V-rod, they usually are talking about a composite sign with the rod, and that kind of like, I guess that looks like a circle or whatever. It's always together. That's what I'm getting at. Those two symbols are always like put together. Where it shows up, there was one thing that I was going to show, and I was going to say it like real quick. And I think I might have came from the same area too. It was on some like toe bone, on like some ox bone that they thought that was used to inscribe shit. I couldn't fucking see what the hell they were talking about. I had it blown up and it looked like total shit. So I wasn't even going to bother showing it. That's supposed to come from around 500 to 655 AD. But the one that I have up on the screen now, that is one from around 600 that was in Scotland. Again, they know very little about the Picts, the descendants of the Iron Age tribes who occupied the lands north of Forth and Clyde in the first millennia in Scotland. They left more than 300 carved stones across the country. Through their purpose is kind of unclear. This one is a 1 meter high slab of dark whinstone. The face is incised with a crescent and V-rod above a serpent and Z-rod. I think if that's the same one that I'm showing. And its carvings are dated around, again, 600. Most interestingly is a bold inscription rising up the stone's left side, written in Ogham, an Irish alphabet adopted by the Picts. Inscription is interpreted as reading IRATADDOARENS, possibly the name Ethernan or Adrian. There's 3 roadside stones were found in a nearby field. They have been kind of moved to where they think they were. There's one that's the southern roadside stone. That one is kind of like an unshaped boulder. It's eroded. Then the northern roadside stone, which I think is kind of this one. That was the one that has like a serpent, a double disc, and a Z-rod, a mirror, and a comb. And then even has the stuff on the other side. And then sometimes on the other side, they will even show worshiping angels, a hunting scene. Sometimes the biblical King David fighting a lion. They think, well, yeah,
that's really early for that.
Well, yeah, and the Pictus symbols demonstrate this is what they think, a continuity with the 2 earliest stones along the road through the introduction of Christian imagery shows the impact of Christianity's arrival. The biblical iconography would have been conveyed specific messages to the people who saw it. So, I mean, they even think it has something like, they're even tying it to Christianity.
Really early arrival of Christianity because, in the 500s, you still had all of northern Germany being pagan, right? They didn't convert until much later on. So if they're having Christian symbols up in Scotland in the 500s, that's a really fast kind of conversion rate, Or it could go into a little bit of what I see in there, which is a Canaanite Phoenician influence. So if you notice the moon in that crescent shape above the top of it, right, sort of pointing downward. Do you have any more images?
Yes, I do. Let me switch.
Yeah, let's go through. Oh, there it is again. Again, that's the V, right, over and over again.
The left side of the V's tip is different than the other side too.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, one looks like I see what you're saying, almost oval but twisted on the side, and one's on. Yeah, right. I didn't even notice that. Nice eye.
Do you see the Seal of Solomon in there?
No, but when I was looking at it though, I was like, yo, there's got to be I felt like I was looking at something else. Over here, I was like, why do I feel like it's like almost like some goetic shit in there?
That's what I'm saying. Like it has that goetic feel to it.
It does, definitely. Oh, I thought that right away.
But let me see here. Oh man.
Yeah, look, yeah, even the end of that one's different too, like she mentioned before.
It's like one is pointing one way and the other is pointing the opposite. Oh geez. Oh. Huh.
Wow. That's the one you just showed, right?
Yeah, scroll down to those people.
Yeah, you got a whole little story going on here, right? It's party time.
Damn.
Also, in those circles, it looks like there's 7 little circles in each circle.
There's so much. Is that a over on the left there? Is that a half man, half horse figure?
I can't fucking tell. Yeah, I can't tell what's on that side.
Is that a person on the right? Is like a person petting a dog? I don't know.
Was that like a pig behind it or something? And what's that up there? Is it like another
A rooster?
Yeah, man. Yo, that's a little bit, right? Facing that way. Facing the opposite way. Yeah, that's funny.
Rooster is a very common Canaanite Grecian motif. But it looks like a person petting a boar, and the boar is the symbol for the Saxon people. So that little pig right there, it could be a dog or it could be a wild boar, and that's like a Saxon symbol. This one, it
nobody has ever pet a wild boar.
That's how they domesticated them. But I mean,
maybe Tycho Brahe did,
right?
Him and his elk.
You know what? It takes less than like 6 months for a domesticated pig to go back into a wild boar once you let it outside of the farm. They start growing tusks and everything. Yeah.
Good for them. Like, you see, these are interesting animals.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, I'm gonna say camel, but kind of looks like it, right? I mean, I don't think they're riding a dinosaur, right? What kind of horse has a neck that fucking long?
Right.
That's, you know what I'm saying? That's what's interesting. You know? I don't know, maybe they drew just as good as I did. See, now that looks kind of like a horse. I don't know.
But see, the top is so precise, and then the bottom, they're sort of not. It's more stylistic. Right. Could be, but the top is just like perfect. It looks like this could have been an earlier motif that was underneath of it. Maybe they shaved the top down and actually put something new on there. Because this is all like a sandstone pillar, and then the top is like really sharp and precise compared to the rest of it.
Those ends of that V kind of reminded me, I don't know, I don't think it's related at all, but it reminded me of like the Uranus sigil and the Neptune sigil. Not there, but up more. Oh. Yeah, at the top of that moon. I mean, that is kind of Neptunian too. It looks like, Poseidon's trident, kind of.
Have you guys ever seen the depictions of the Picts by the Romans?
No.
Oh, you'll love this. Check this out real quick.
All right.
This is what the Romans said that they look like. These are the Scottish people at that time. These are the Picts. Yeah.
That's what they thought the Scottish people look like.
That's what the Romans reported they looked like. These were the Picts.
I doubt they had a face on their stomach like that.
They were tattooed head to toe. They were blue people.
Oh, geez.
Oh, they're drinking
man.
Silver colloidal shit.
They were doing all sorts of weird stuff out there. And I think that's what's so interesting about these stones is like, so they were incredible craftsmen in addition to being absolute madmen. It's kind of interesting.
The stuff that I'm that's from Scotland. So right. It's from Scotland.
They're the ones who are doing this, which is amazing to me.
Oh, someone says the name Pix come from their tattoos. Oh, if that,
Yep.
might be true. The freestyling, it sounds good. I'll go with it.
Interesting.
There was a lot of magic up there, and it's just all been lost. Where'd it go? Hey, all this culture, like we don't know what this stuff means other than the Ogum, and the Ogum is another language that's really hard for them to decipher. They mentioned Ogum in there.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. It's on the, yeah, they said down one of the sides and they thought it was a name that might have said Adrian or some other thing.
I love Braveheart.
All right, yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's about it.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, I thought that was a really interesting one, especially when I realized, like, I even thought that was, I don't know the history that well, but I even thought what they said for tying it to Christianity, I was like, that seems rather early.
Mm-hmm. And it's tying it to Christian. Do those people look like Christians? I mean, just let's be honest. So look at this.
What year was it?
Art. 500 AD.
Yeah, between 5 and 6, basically.
It's crazy that snake symbolism was just everywhere.
Yep. All over the place. Well, I kind of wanted to get into what motif is to begin with, just so that everybody understands where we're coming from. That's also Tanit. Oh, check this one out. So if you're looking at the Thracian goddess Tanit, and you see that moon right there, right? The moon shape, almost really similar to that other moon. And it's funny because, can I zoom out? Oh, here's another good one. Right? These Tanit sculptures have that moon motif right on top. If I could scroll up. I guess. Yeah, right there on top. Yeah, you got that moon, downward facing moon, over and over again. Right? So, and the Canaanite Phoenicians were the ones who had first contact with the Picts. So the Picts are very close to them. That's who helped them mine all the tin out of England, is the Picts. So they had other loyalties. They weren't loyal to the Romans. They were loyal to the Canaanite Phoenicians. You see a lot of Canaanite Phoenician even influence Beltane. That's Baal. Like they're talking about Baal Hamon. They're talking about the Canaanite Phoenician god. So there's a big crossover between Canaanite Phoenicians and the Picts. And you can see that in the motif, which is what I wanted to bring.
I feel like you can see a similar symbol in Canaanite stuff.
Yep. Well, that's, again, it all goes back to, well, let's do a motif analysis. So we break apart all the different pieces of these different iconographies and actually compare the pieces. So in art iconography, a motif is an element of the image. Motifs can occur both in figurative and narrative art, and ornament and geometric art. A motif may be a repeated pattern or design, often many times, or may just occur once in the work. So what we've been mostly looking at is all of these different transference of motif from different art styles or different cultures, right? A motif may be an element of the iconography of a particular subject or type of subject that is seen in other works, or may form the main subject, as the Master of Animals motif. That's another one. Have we done that one yet? I think. No. Oh, all right. Well, we're going to do that motif next. So in ancient art, typically does the related motif confronted animals often seen alone, but may also repeat, for example, the Byzantine silk. And again, they have to describe it this way is because they don't have the words to describe what's actually happening. Like, what was the purpose of this stuff? So once you get to the really, really ancient stuff, it's just the same picture repeated over and over again in thousands of different ways. The work, let me see here. Ornamental or decorative art can usually be analyzed into a number of different elements, which can be called motifs. These often turn as textile art, but may be repeated many times as a pattern. Important examples in Western art include here we go. Athanasius was one of the most common plant forms used to make foliage, ornament, and decoration in the architectural tradition. So all of those little leaves in the Corinthian sculpture are from the acanthus leaf. You never would have known that. Well, what's the acanthus known for? All these buildings are lined with acanthus leaves, right? So you've got sympathetic magic in there as well. Egg and dart. So all of these things can be used for lots of different purposes. And once you know their purpose, then you can start to make spells out of them, or, as we call them, buildings. So geometric, typically repeated meander, palmade, rosette, ghoul in oriental rugs, acanthus, egg and dart, bread and reel, pacudos, swastika, and this one I've never heard of before, Andikra, symbols from the Andean people. So just wanted to make you guys aware of how rich and deep, if you want to get into these motifs, it really can be. So you can start to understand really basic things about all of the geometry and everything else around you once you start paying attention to these artistic motifs. So what do you guys think? We got any mail?
You? I ain't got it.
Let's check.
Oh boy.
All right. Oh, we got one from Young Stitches. Just in time, Young Stitches. Thank you, buddy. All right. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. So I was in prison doing path working before Kabbalah for me.
Oh, shit.
Perfect. Dude, did you know how many people were in your position and they just keep popping up? It's like.
Yeah, that is interesting. Yeah. Yeah, even Friday Da Vinci that's in the chat. That guy he's time in the feds too, I think.
I think this is like a representative of something. Like it's a kind of religious understanding of the world that actually works for people. Anyways, that's just my opinion. So I was in prison doing path working before Kabbalah just for me, some self-initiated Wicca thing with the pentagram in 4 worlds. So 20 positions in the 3D, and each one was a location to go and access that energy. Been doing it for about a month, and in my vision, this little mark appeared. And if I focused, it would get so small, it would almost disappear. I reached for it and was able to manipulate it a little so I could see the crack expanding. For real, it looked like a butthole or something. Came out and with a round mouth at the end shot out and snapped at me. I dropped the walls to the crack and it snapped shut. I was having trouble moving it back open without getting bit, but then just decided to let it maybe, and it would hold the crack open. It got me, I felt no pain, but I stretched into or out of this place on the other side of the crack and I was being devoured. Growing up, I had that psychic vampire problem where I would just feed off of everyone around me. So I recognize that feeling. You know, it's interesting. If you think about this in terms of like an out of body experience and the snapping of the crack shut, it sounds like that alligator. I forgot the name of it in Egyptian art. You know, the one that's supposed to snap on your heart.
Sobek?
Yeah, Sobek. There you go. Just sort of reminded me of that. You know, it was like, so you're out of your body trying to open this thing and it's snapping at you. Anyways. Next thing I knew, this thing was a shining gray blob moved over my vision and pushed this thing away. And then just like that, I was on some grass and the blob was just knowledge in my mind. No form, just presence. And I sarcastically said, I always thought my guide would be a dragon, and boom, purple dragon, big looming. I felt crazy for a second, but with no warning, this thing blew fire all over me. Yeah, I flinched, and then I turned into it, and bruh, we just became one. It knew, because I knew, that I wish I could fly, and man, we flew. I had one thought about how crazy it would be to try and communicate with a dragon form, and bam, nosedive back into the grass, and I was me again. And she showed me some vision of some random white girl, pretty to my standards, like a Native American. My family thought we were Blackfoot Indians for generations. DNA said no dice, so I'm a cracker. I started staring at her, and she just looked away and points to this platform made of earth. I stepped on it, and we went up. Elevator motion feeling, everything, and then we was up in space looking at the stars. Was it we was? Yeah. That was the end. Not sure what she was really trying to tell me. So I come to still in my chair, cell buddy, still asleep. I'm kind of looking around. My lap is in this book. I can't see what it says, but the last letters of the words on the right side towards the bottom, and all the words ended in S, like a poem or something. Super confused. I opened my eyes. The book was gone, and the world felt normal again. Hadn't been using my eyes for vision. So a guide like Dragons, Demons, and Astral Sight. Months later, after finding Magic book 4 by Crowley and reading it over and over, front to back, I read it once. I couldn't go through it a second time, dude. Whoa. The only reason I got through it at all is because I was deployed, you know? And reading it over and over, front to back again, it was almost memorized. Full on pentagrams, hexagrams, middle pillars every day. That was when I found this intro to Jewish Kabbalah book that an old cell buddy had left in the cell. And wouldn't you know it, I found the page with the poem at the bottom. So I think it was to guide me to Kabbalah. I was so deep in my instinctual magic that I accidentally created as a child that ceremonial magic always seemed like too much. I was on the runes real heavy already and did all the path working for them. And this dude that wanted to learn picked Kabbalah as his divination. He asked me the craziest questions. I knew my magic, but Kabbalah, so in order to teach him, I moved over to Kabbalah, and right after that, I saw this Sunni Muslim with Magic Book 4. I bought that shit from his ass immediately. Learned what my oath really is, what my demons really are, all in prison, and happy the whole time. Still amazes me. That's my story for now. Got dream journals from inside. If you are interested in that craziness, let a frater know. Stitch.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, we got to get him on.
Yeah. Okay.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm so curious. Like, what do you? He's self-aware that he was an energy vampire. Like, what is that like? How does he like? What do you mean?
Oh yeah, people know. It's just most of the time people are very narcissistic and they don't tell other people about it. So I think he was just being really open and honest. So
I dig
something you
it.
find with a lot of out of body experiencers.
So it sounds like he feels like he met like his daemon, right? As a dragon. I also met my daemon in a dream.
Nice.
No, it wasn't, because it was too soon.
Too soon.
Too soon?
It was. I was scared.
Well,
do
you
you
want
wanna
to
shut
shut
happens when
time?
Huh?
What's that?
I feel like this shit happens when nobody's ready.
Well, and now I try to like do that again, but the thing is like I had my dog in my dream kill.
Maybe your dog's your daemon.
No, my dog tried to kill me.
Jeez.
I know. Yeah, no, she went for my throat out of nowhere one day.
Wow.
Yeah.
You
Anyway,
must have
though.
had quick reflexes.
No, so her teeth hit my chin, and so it threw me back, and so she only scraped my neck. Otherwise, I would have died for sure.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Pitbull? No. What was it? It wasn't Pitbull, was it?
No, she was like she was a foxhound, like German, what are they called?
German Shepherd?
Yeah, mix. So,
Huh.
It's interesting.
German Shepherds can go nuts sometimes. That's common.
yeah, it was like a weird thing. When she was younger, she was so sweet and good with other dogs and everything. It was just like this weird thing that just like got progressively worse. It happens with dogs sometimes, but yeah, it was crazy too because she did it, and then you could tell afterwards she just like couldn't even tell that, like she didn't even know why she was being yelled at.
Right.
just craziness.
Maybe it had a demon.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe.
I don't know. I think it's
If
not
so,
too uncommon.
that's attached to me because I see it in people a lot.
Oh, maybe it is.
Could be.
Well, tune in next time. We'll do some on-air exorcisms. So it'll be fun. Yeah. I'm just kidding. But no, thanks a lot, everybody. And see you again next time.
Oh, yeah.